kind of horse. I'm going to wait for them to turn this horse back a little bit.
Number 10, Multiplier, another at 15-1 on the line. Made an interrupted late run in Baltimore. Is he good enough to be a factor here, Mike?
I hope he is. He's a horse that I like, and I wound up picking him in this race, knowing that he has to improve again to win. But I like him. I've liked him from day one. I like every race that this horse has run. His Illinois Derby to me was a good performance. He didn't beat a good horse. That hedge fund, the Pletcher horse that he ran down in there he's not very good. But I liked the way that Multiplier came and ran that horse down once he got clear in that race. And he was the one horse, when I kept going back through the Preakness, and I agree how, the way Andy sort of laid it out, where you had the two good horses, the two best horses were clear, and then everybody else was just sort of, all together trying to close and just be third if they could. I personally thought Multiplier could have been third if he had gotten outside. He just couldn't get outside in the stretch, and it got in a little bit tight there. I thought he did pretty well just to close some ground in that race, and I think he's going to be running at the end of the Belmont Stakes. And again, I do think there's going to be some pace in here. I think he'll run at the end. I think he's going to be a fair price, and I still think he has a lot of upside in a race where a lot of horses don't have that much upside, and I'm going to take a chance in here with him at a price.
I like it. Andy, what do you think of Multiplier?
Well, unlike Andy Beyer, I will respect Mike enough that if my horses, like the 4 or 3 run second and behind Multiplier, I'll make money on the race because I respect Mike's opinion. And I do agree. He has done a lot in a short period of time. My problem is that he beat Hedge Fund in the Illinois Derby, who just isn't very good. And his subsequent performance in Sir Barton was poor, in my opinion. I didn't think he did any running last time. I get what Mike's saying. Maybe he's right. I'm still not sure if a distant third would have done much for me. Maybe he improves. I know the Illinois Derby was a race that came up, it's a super fast race, but there's just no confirmation from the horses behind that it was a good race. So I don't like this horse, but in this race, I'm going to respect Mike's opinion and use him defensively because of Mike. I just didn't see it.
Mike, before we move on from Multiplier, is he more one that you're interested underneath in verticals, or are you interested in him for the whole kit and caboodle?
Well, I'm going to use him on top in this race. Again, to me, this was just one of those races that came down to, more than anything else, it came down to price. Just because, I'm just not going to be, betting a lot of money on top with the favorites in this race. I don't really like any of them. And so I was, sort of looking around for horses at better prices and, ultimately ones who I thought could, perhaps move forward again. And I think he's one of those horses. Again, it's not, just based on his Preakness, although I thought his Preakness was, fine considering. I like all of this horse's races. I think there's a chance he turns out to be pretty good down the line.